Ciao, ciao, Svima. How you doing? Charles here, drinking his coffee. It's early in the morning. And I gotta get to a video, and I gotta do it quick. I gotta make this in two parts because it's so darn long. I can't do things in a short manner because you know how I talk so much and it's annoying. First of all, Nikola Garabandic. I'm sampling this Ivar as I go along because I got a bunch of it. Tell your grandmother I absolutely adored it. You can tell it's almost gone. I mixed this with rice. I mixed it in with my macaroni and cheese. Then I put a big clump on my plate. Love it. Beautiful stuff. So thank you, my Novi Sad friend, Nikola Garabandic. Hope I said your name right. Here we go. Let's get started on this because I want to put this in two different parts. This is a young man from Serbia who sent me this message. He wanted me to answer questions and put it on a video. He's a young man that lives in Niš. He says, "Hi Charles, my name is Milan blank." I won't say his name. From Niš, Serbia. I think you are a great American. I think I have watched over 600 of your videos. Ask me a question about them and see if I get it right. Ooh, wow. I'll get back to you, brother. Thank you for the support. I'm a boy. I'm the boy who asked to take a picture with you in the center of Niš. Do you remember me? Send me the picture, brate moj. And I'll look. I probably will. I probably do remember you. I would like you to answer questions on a video. Could you do that? I just want you to say the answers as quickly as you can without thinking. Good job. Your English is really good, bud. And I looked at the first two questions here, but I didn't go through this whole list. I just see that there's a bunch. So I'm going to answer the first ones about Niš. These are about Niš, Serbia, so let me read this, okay? First of all, here we go. Question number 1. What was your favorite thing about Niš? Ooh, buras. My favorite thing about Niš, I really enjoyed Niš. I like the countryside in Niš. One time for a Slava, we went up to my friend's he's got a vikendica that overlooked the city. Beautiful place. A little place called Sičevo, right down the road from there. Beautiful nature. All around Niš is very, very nice. But the other thing about Niš, it has some really interesting history. Lots of things to see and do there in the city of Niš. And also the prices. When you compare Niš to the other major cities in Serbia, Niš is a hell of a lot cheaper too. The meat I had down there was very nice. It's a really good burek at a couple places. I liked a lot of things. Question 2, where did you live in Niš? I lived in Niš 2 different places. I lived there 2 separate times. First time I lived there for about maybe 2 months or 3 months. I can't remember. But I lived close to, you know, that big military base on the way to Buban. Up that hill, you go to Buban, that monument that Tito built. I lived right down the hill, right next to that military base in this part of a house that my friend Nikola Tsekic, his grandparents lived there, and they had like this section with everything in it. I lived there. It was nice. And the second place I lived with this old lady named Jovanka. She's my buddy Dejan Mirkovic's grandmother, and that was between Bolnica and Sveti Sava Park. There's a gas station. I think it's Nis Gas. I think maybe. And I lived right there in one of those big buildings. So I lived there twice, and I liked it. What did you hate about Niš? What did I hate about Niš? You know what I really hated about Niš? I hated getting to Niš because it was a pain in the ass. Niš is way down there. You know, it takes about 3 hours on the bus, and if you get on the wrong bus and you don't say autoput, and then it's going to stop in all these gosh darn places and take about 100 years to get to Niš. So that's what I didn't like about Niš. What else didn't I like? What else? I don't know. There's not much. I really enjoyed my time in Niš. I think they should have more. You know what I didn't like? There's that big boat that's, you know, when you walk across from the fortress, that boat there. I think they should have it going and doing something because I think that would be neat. You know, to go on there and they should get that boat going. It's dilapidated. It's getting dilapidated and everything. The other thing I didn't like, you know, in that park right along the edge across from the fortress where all the kids sat out there on the thing. I had so much fun there. But there's a little place that people piss in there, and it smells horribly right there in the park. This little section you walk past, oof, catastrophe. Most interesting history story about Niš. You know, a story about Niš. I met this historian. He told me a story how in World War I or World War II, which one was it? I think it was World War I, there was an American who volunteered for the Serbian army. The Bulgarians were coming from Bulgaria. The Serbian troops in Niš were getting out. The city was going to be surrendered. So the Serbian officers asked this American who had an American passport to go out on the road and meet these advancing Bulgarian troops and to surrender the city, because they figured if he did as an American with an American passport, that the Bulgarians would be less brutal, because they were known for brutal acts against the Serbian people, rapes, murders, just disgusting things. So the American met him on the road, surrendered the city in a peaceful manner, and the Bulgarians weren't as brutal, I guess, after that. I thought that was really interesting for me, from my side of the story, or from being American. Number 5, say Prokuplje 5 times very fast. I know why you're asking this, because I've said in my videos before, my old videos, that I thought it was the hardest city to say. Prokuplje, 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 Prokuplje. There, I said it a bunch of times. Next one, number 6. What is Cele Kula? Cele Kula is skull tower, is what that means. And the Turks, when they had been here for 400, almost 500 years, they controlled this whole area. At one point, they cut off a bunch of Serbian people's heads and built this big monument out of it to scare the Serbian people into submission and things like that. Really sick place. But it's located in Niš. It's a tourist destination in Niš. Tourist site, I should say. Question 7. Something weird about Niš. Something weird about Niš. You know what I thought was kind of weird as an American? I mean, not weird, but weird in a good way. It was really interesting to me. For the longest time, I had no idea under that whole main street in Niš, the walking center, when you go down the stairs, I thought the stairs went to a bathroom or something, you know? All under that whole entire strip, there's little shops and everything underneath the city. Tons of them. Shops, little cafes and everything. I thought that was so neat. That was a weird thing for me, but I liked it. Number 8, what would you fix about Niš to make it better for tourists? A couple things. I don't think they do enough in Niš to beautify things. There's a lot of graffiti on things, and I thought that was terrible. On Buban, that's those fists that Tito made in remembrance of the people that were killed by the Germans. There's graffiti all over the place. I would pay somebody to sit out there and keep these goddamn troublemakers from putting graffiti on things. First of all, on all the monuments there's graffiti. The second thing I would do, the bus station is in a terrible spot. The first impression most tourists get when they come to Niš, the bus comes in, it goes to the bus station, you get off the bus and you have to walk to the center where the beautiful fortress is. That street you walk on is filthy all the time. Because during the day, it's like a piazza. There's so many people there selling things. It's filthy at night. They need to clean it, make it a little bit better, and have a better first impression. That's what I would do. So Mayor of Niš, if you're listening, do that. What's a funny story about Niš? A funny story. I have a lot of funny stories. Everywhere I go, it's funny. Well, one time, I didn't really look at the map, and everybody said Niš was really close to Niš. One day I was bored, I had nothing to do, so I start walking in the general vicinity of Niš. I keep walking and walking. I see this group of kids, and I said, hey guys, I said, how far is Niš? Am I going in the right direction? They said, no, you can't walk, you have to take a bus. And I said, no, I'm going to walk. I don't think it's that far. They said, no, you can't, you got to take a bus. I said, no, I'm going to walk. Is it this way or this way where? They said, go that way. And then they laughed. Kept walking. I finally bump into another people. I'm out of town. Asked this guy along the right. I said, Niš? He said, yes, bus. Get a bus. I said, no, I'm going to walk. Oh my God. It was a hot, sweaty day. Terrible, terrible thing. It's a long gosh darn way out of town. But I made it to Niš, so I was really proud of myself. But it's a long, long walk. What should tourists come to look at in Niš? Man, there's so many things in Niš to look at as a tourist. As I stated, Cele Kula. It's depressing thing. The other great thing, of course, is the fortress right in the center of the city. One of the most beautiful fortresses. Inside, it's got a nightclub at night. Beautiful park. There's a great cafe and restaurant inside there. There's a beautiful restaurant on the other side that you can sit out there and drink coffee and watch. There's at night, if you're a young person or somebody even old like me, young at spirit, and you like to hang out with people that are younger than you, you can go out and sit along that, on the opposite side of the fortress, on that riverside. Hundreds of kids out there all night, young people drinking beer and causing no problems. Just pissing in that corner that smells like hell. But that's fun. There's a couple dance clubs in Niš that are really, really popular. There's a couple kafanas there that are really nice. There's one of the most touching, troubling things in Niš for me, and the most thing I remember probably the most is 4th of July concentration camp. They've kept it up nicely. The guard towers are there. The fence is still there. All the cells are still there inside. They've reconstructed them as they were when the Germans held the Serbians in there. Upstairs, there's these little cells that have barbed wire on the floor. They had partisan and Chetnik troops. They make them sleep on barbed wire. There was the second floor. There's a place where a lady had a baby and they threw the baby out the window. The Germans. I mean, just sick, terrible, terrible place. But it's something I'll always remember. And there's really good tour guides there too. And it doesn't cost much to enter. And the tour guides are great. Speak English. Great place. Emperor Constantine was born there. So a little bit outside the city, you have his compound. And they should fix it up a little better too. But it was still in construction when I was there. But there's a lot of things in Niš to see, really. In the surrounding area, Sičevo, it's a little village right down the road. You gotta go there. It's beautiful view. You'll have some of the best pictures of your life. Question 11. Did you know you bombed Niš in 1999? Brate moje, I didn't bomb it. But I do know that my government and NATO, along with our NATO allies, did bomb Niš. I know we bombed your hospital. I know we bombed a train around the surrounding areas of Niš. I know we killed a lot of civilians in your city. And brate moje, I am so sorry for that. I wish there was something I could do. I wish I could change the history, but I can't. It's terrible, disgusting, and I apologize for all American people who were decent. Okay? Next question, last question. Are any Niš students in USA on work and travel, your work and travel program? Name them. Yeah, of course, we got a bunch of kids from Niš. We have 4 offices in Serbia: Niš, Novi Sad, Belgrade, and Kragujevac, and I traveled to all of them. So I'm going to be down in Niš soon again. But we have a bunch of students. It's our third biggest office. After Belgrade's usually first, Novi Sad second, and Niš is third. So we have 100 and some students from down in Niš. Name them. I can't name them. My best friend in the whole wide world, Darko Stojilkovic. He's from Lučica, little village by Požarevac. He studies in Niš, though. He's lived in Niš. He studies at the sport faculty of sport, or whatever the fuck you call it. But he's in the USA. I met him in Nantucket. Greatest guy I've ever met. So him, and there's many more. So anyway, my friend, that's it. I'm going to get to the second part of your questions in a second video because it's so long and I talk too much. Do widzenia.